Remember how WWE went with Bray Wyatt proclaiming 2015 was going to be his year at the Royal Rumble? Yeah, that doesn't really look like it, considering how Bray Wyatt was booked all this year. Bray Wyatt was being booked at a very high note heading into the new year, since it was reported that he was going to fight The Undertaker at WrestleMania 31. And I knew, yep, he's going to get this big push and whatnot. Though it's more along the lines determining how his push would be effectively ended when he fought The Undertaker for real, and see how that goes. So, Bray Wyatt on the January 5th episode of Raw to kick off the new Raw of the new year, Wyatt effectively ended the feud with Dean Ambrose, his first feud in a while that he won, and would be for a long time when he won a feud. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. In an ambulance match, which was kind of awesome, but ultimately it just served its purpose. Wyatt was strong, and Dean Ambrose was off to the side for a bit. So, yeah, it was pretty much your standard Wyatt versus Ambrose match, which basically meant hell and craziness breaking loose. So, what Bray Wyatt announced on SmackDown, I kind of forgot which SmackDown episode it was before the Rumble, where he declared himself to be in the Royal Rumble, where he says, Bray Wyatt will arrive and 29 others will fall. Run. And I was like, you're just so awesome with your promos. Like, everything Bray Wyatt says is awesome. Like, yeah, I can get why some people say he's stale and repetitive. Though I keep thinking like Bray Wyatt's promos are more of a double-edged sword, because since WWE is catering to kids, how are they gonna know what kind of stuff Bray Wyatt's saying? Like, you have to interpret it and basically be very, 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 very education, be very intellect in what he was trying to say. So he's kind of like being like Chris Jericho being Nick Bockwinkel, but however, whereas Nick Bockwinkel and Chris Jericho would arrogantly say it, Bray Wyatt believed in what he was saying. So it was kind of harder to tell. So I felt like it was a double-edged sword regarding Bray Wyatt's promo skills. Like, they're so great, but yet there's some weird problem with it. Like, there's a built-in problem. So heading into the Royal Rumble, Bray Wyatt would have some dominating matches, and ultimately he would enter the Royal Rumble match, entering at number 5, lasting for 47 minutes and eliminating 6 other contestants. And Bray Wyatt went on the microphone and declared that 2015 was going to be his year, and then started singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands" again, and reminding me of, oh man, that was awesome. Even though John Cena screwed him over, yeah, that was still awesome though. So, and Bray Wyatt got the unceremonial elimination by Kane and Big Show, being lifted up, then dropped down. And I was like, oh, why? Just why? Why did you do it like that? It should have been epic. He should have been in the final 4, not with Kane and Big Show. It should have been him, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Daniel Bryan. But no, they went with Kane and Big Show because it's Kane and Big Show. They deserve it for some reason. So, following the Royal Rumble, Wyatt once again continued his cryptic promos, where he was referring to this guy to find him, and then he led to. I'll get to Fastlane in a minute, but then Bray Wyatt had this awesome match with Dolph Ziggler. It was their second encounter together. That wasn't a tag team match. It was just simply awesome and back and forth. I actually made a tribute video. The reason why it's not on YouTube is because copyright stuff. Yeah, I might make a separate channel one day called Neo Reality Highlights. So, but right now it's just archived right now. So Bray Wyatt heading into Fastlane wasn't really doing any matches. And I can understand why they didn't do many matches for Bray Wyatt, is because they want to make sure he's healthy enough. Like, they didn't want to make the same mistake with Punk, because Punk got hurt and they had to remove him from all live event tours so he could build up his match with Undertaker without having to wrestle until his big match happened. And Bray Wyatt announced at Fastlane that he would claim the soul of the Undertaker. And the commentary team kind of sold it, but the pre-show panel sold it better than him. Basically, Corey Graves saying, "I think we always suspected that Bray Wyatt had less of a rational thought. I think we just got a confirmation. You don't call the lightning down like that." And I was like, "Yeah, that's basically what someone with rational thought would say." Whereas commentary nowadays just sucks. So Bray Wyatt does all these crazy artistic promos where he's calling out the Undertaker, flaming, burning caskets, doing coffins, funerals, mocking the Undertaker, proclaiming he's the new face of fear. It's leading to this match, and I was really excited for this match. Like, it was my most exciting match. Had Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar been given a better build, then that would have been my most exciting match. And then I heard the report that Bray Wyatt injured his knee, sprained his knee before the show, and I was worried, like, well, there goes the chance to steal the show. Like, okay, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe they can do a good match. Like, we'll never know. So Bray Wyatt and Undertaker have a match. It's decent. It wasn't as epic as previous matches or had the surreal moment like Brock Lesnar being Undertaker, but it just felt very lackluster considering the build was going to have this dark storytelling and whatnot. So yeah, I was underwhelmed by that match. Like, I get it; it was a fine match, but had Bray Wyatt not sprained his knee by accident, the match most likely would have been a lot better. And I have to give Wyatt credit considering the bumps he took, especially when he smashed his knee over the steel steps. Especially like, wow, you just sprained your knee and you're gonna put your leg through that again? Man, you're a soldier. And Bray Wyatt would lose to The Undertaker ultimately, and therefore Bray Wyatt's decline begins. So Bray Wyatt does once more cryptic promos and calls himself the new face of fear, and I'm constantly wondering, wait, why is he calling him that? Like, The Undertaker is still the face of fear since he beat him, and they're not going to do a rematch, at least at the time I thought it wouldn't happen. So then I hear the report, oh, they're going to have a rematch at SummerSlam? Oh, that's going to be cool. I hope this match is much better than WrestleMania. Sadly, that never happened, but I was believing that. Um, Ultimately, Bray Wyatt's cryptic promos were targeted towards Ryback on April 27 when after Wyatt attacked Ryback following his match with his real life brother Bo Dallas. It was leading to a rumor at the time. Shamsbury Entertainment reported that Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas might do a tag team together, and I thought that would be kind of interesting. But considering Bo Dallas's gimmick is pretty much John Cena, except this time Bo Dallas knows he's lying to himself, whereas John Cena believes that everything he's saying, where Bo Dallas is lying to himself. I don't think it could work. Unless they do a dark turn for Bo Dallas, which they were doing with Bo Dallas at times. Like, during Elimination Chamber, Bo Dallas says, I gave you a chance, now I just want to hurt you. And I was like, that's actually kind of interesting to see him say that. And I would have loved to see his dark character turn. And he probably could pull off a scary look, like his face is that of a stalker. Very, very awkward smile. My God, that smile is just so creepy. So Bray Wyatt's at war with Ryback. And Wyatt would attack Ryback again on SmackDown, and this led to a match at Payback. So, like, okay, I never thought this match would happen, considering Ryback's at this lower tier compared to Bray Wyatt. So, I'm wondering how this match is going to go. Like, this would be kind of interesting. And Bray Wyatt broke his ribs. I don't know if this was storylined or was real life when Ryback broke his ribs, but considering Ryback later was in Elimination Chamber, maybe it was just a storyline. But Bray Wyatt and Ryback tore the house down, in my opinion. It was possibly Ryback's best match, and that doesn't involve Cena at least, where Ryback showed some moves like the frog splash. Like, I was surprised Ryback could do that. Like, wait, Ryback could do that? Like, that's kind of taboo to have a big guy doing a high flying maneuver. I don't know why Vince hates that, but anyways, it was kind of surprising Ryback did that, and it added more to their match. And it was possibly Ryback's best mid card match, and that's where the feud kind of ended. It looked like it was going to go somewhere. However, this is where Bray Wyatt was kind of in. Afterwards, Bray Wyatt was kind of in limbo, currently doing nothing, just walking around, fighting somebody, losing, and then just fading into irrelevancy for a bit. Um, then we got this big match between Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt on June 1st of episode of Raw, where the Authority announced Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns were fighting the main event for Reigns' spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Reigns would defeat Wyatt later that night, even though Reigns won 2 matches and should have been horribly exhausted. Then a report came out before Money in the Bank when Bray Wyatt was reportedly said, "Well, WWE management, we got nothing. We got nothing for Bray Wyatt." And I was pissed off. Like, there's this guy with so much talent. It's basically a gold mine. Heck, I'll go with platinum. And you just say, what are we supposed to do with these? And I'm like, entertain me, you imbeciles! Entertain me! But no, they clearly had nothing for Bray Wyatt because, well, Bray Wyatt's a complex character. I could think of one. Go to war with the Authority, or go to war with Roman Reigns. Like, I was preaching that. And then I got my wish. At Money in the Bank, Bray Wyatt interfered in the ladder match where he attacked Reigns as the latter was close to retrieving the briefcase. And it was announced that same night that Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns would happen at Battleground. And I was so excited what was going to happen. Like, this was going to be an awesome match. Like, I was waiting for this match for a long time now. I wrote an article about it a few years back where I said this would be the reality era's best feud ever. And... yeah, and at the time when it was being built up initially for Battleground, it really did look like it was going to be the best feud for the reality era. I'm like, yeah, there's Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, but Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt has this sense of more darker realism and grittiness, because Bray Wyatt, let's see, he brings up Roman Reigns' daughter, threatens to take her, and threatens to harm her. And please note, this is a PG era content. And they're going with this. And then they go with the anyone but you slogan, which now has become an internet meme since everyone doesn't want Roman Reigns to succeed because he's been forced by Vince McMahon's hand, because they can't tell the difference between Vince McMahon and Roman Reigns. I like this is not the same case with John Cena, but it's entirely different. But yeah, I was really liking the storyline, especially when Roman Reigns was trying to find the tea room. We go into the room. It looked like Bray Wyatt had his daughter, but it really didn't, because I knew, okay, WWE, it would have been awesome if you did that angle, but I knew you didn't have it in you. You don't have that attitude anymore. But instead, we got a very disturbing imagery of Bray Wyatt having torn pictures of Roman Reigns, and one with his eyes and mouth ripped out, and like, oh god, this is actually kind of awesome. And it just looked like a horror slasher fix / stalker hunting, prying for Roman Reigns' soul. And it was just so awesome to see this. I made 2 videos about this, about Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt's build, especially about Battleground. So Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns have a 22-minute match at Battleground. It was awesome. It was my favorite match of the night. I could say Kevin Owens and John Cena, however, like I said in previous videos, it should have went the other way, and Kevin Owens should not have tapped out. Yeah. So, and the match, I was disappointed by the finish. Like, I wanted Roman Reigns to win by disqualification, and then Bray Wyatt wins at SummerSlam, so Bray Wyatt can maintain his undefeated streak he had at SummerSlam at the time. So when Luke Harper comes back and reforming the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan's still out of action because he got a torn bicep, I think. So it's just those 2 for now. So then the Wyatt Reigns feud kind of took to this family feud, and it started losing its luster a bit. Like, it wasn't really being the dark, gritty storyline they were doing. I'm pretty certain WWE loved what they were going with, but when they went with the anyone but you slogan and showing the disturbing imagery, I'm pretty sure WWE chickened out at the last minute, because like, a lot of people were predicting Roman Reigns' daughter would be involved in this, and it would have been awesome had he gotten permission, but had they gotten permission for it. But yeah, they kind of chickened out on the horror theme to it. Like, it just felt like it started losing its luster with this whole family versus family angle they were going with. So, heading into SummerSlam, I was preaching, please let Bray Wyatt win this match. No, you didn't do it. And it wasn't really my favorite match. And especially how the audience was still on Roman Reigns' case, since, well, after all the hard work he's been doing since Royal Rumble, it clearly shows that they don't care. Saying, Roman's sleeping! And especially at the beginning of the match, it was at first being very destructive, and then it just went to your standard tag team match, and Bray Wyatt lost the match, was pinned, so there goes the streak, which sucked. So Roman Reigns is now the SummerSlam streak, so I hope they go forward with him at least. So Wyatt and Harper have a rematch for against Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. This match ends in a disqualification finish due to the arrival of Braun Strowman, and it's just awesome because Bray Wyatt is making Roman Reigns look human. He's giving him weakness. I'm liking this feud. It's back on track with this new character, and especially him destroying everybody. So now at Night of Champions, Harper, Wyatt, and Strowman team up to take on Ambrose, Reigns, and Jericho in a six-man tag team match. At Hell in a Cell, not Hell in a Cell, Night of Champions, and Harper, the Wyatt family would defeat Team Reigns, and at Hell in a Cell, they would have finally announced Hell in a Cell match between Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, and I was like, yes, that is that's the way to end this feud. That's the only way that you can end this feud. Especially how this feud started out, it needed to end in a Hell in a Cell match. I didn't care if it was at SummerSlam, I didn't care if it was at Night Champions, I didn't care if it was at any of those pay-per-views, but it had to end with Hell in a Cell. And they had a very creative, destructive match. They pulled off some creative things, but it got this debate going on to this day, saying which match was better, Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns, or Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. And when you're saying that you can't decide which match was better, and considering Brock Lesnar and Undertaker had one hell of a match, that's really saying something to Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns' credentials. Especially since it's Roman Reigns, and everyone hates Roman Reigns for some reason. For something that's beyond his control at this point. So anyways, I don't know what they were going to go with Bray Wyatt now. Like, I thought, well, this feud didn't actually hurt Bray Wyatt like the other feuds. Like he may, at this point, Bray Wyatt's feudings were all lackluster. Well, except for the Undertaker one. And I didn't know what they were going to do next with him. And Bray Wyatt kind of lost all his feuds this year except for Dean Ambrose. I could say he won against Ryback, but considering Ryback a month later would win the Intercontinental belt and Bray Wyatt wasn't even considered to go into that match, that kind of proves something that's wrong with management. So, yeah, he kind of lost every single feud that wasn't Dean Ambrose. So, had Bray Wyatt been given better booking before Roman Reigns, then yeah, I could say this feud doesn't affect Bray Wyatt, and it still doesn't, in my opinion, since they had a fair trade of wins and losses. But yeah, I definitely kept saying yeah, that could have had Bray Wyatt been getting better booking and then lose to Roman Reigns. Then it wouldn't have really. Then I would have no problem with Bray Wyatt losing to Roman Reigns. So, anyways, I'm wondering what they're gonna do next with him. I was really curious, and then it was announced Undertaker versus somebody was gonna happen at Survivor Series, and I was all excited, like, please let it be Bray Wyatt. And then it turns out Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family with the returning Eric Rowan attacked the Undertaker, and I really love the way they carried the Undertaker out. And I explained this in the Undertaker video regarding his 2015, where they carried him out like they crucified him, and I was really loving what they were going with. Like, okay, this is an awesome beginning. This is an awesome beginning to the story. Okay, so what's next? Then Bray Wyatt cuts a promo saying how this is now his resurrection. And I'm just saying, you're parodying off that The Undertaker, where Undertaker kind of shrugged you to the side and proclaimed the attack on Lesnar was his resurrection. Now, Bray Wyatt, you're proclaiming that your attack on The Undertaker was your resurrection. And I thought that was a nice touch. But I did love the one thing in this promo that really made it memorable was when he tells Roman Reigns that they will dance again, that they will fight one more time. So that gives a sense of both closure and yet opens to next possibilities for Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. So that means, yeah, the story's not over. For now it is, but they'll be back at it again one day next year, most likely, heading into 2016 this year, most likely. So they're at war with the Brothers of Destruction, and Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family are destroyed on November 9th by the Brothers of Destruction. And especially how it was booked. Like, okay, Bray Wyatt proclaims he has taken their souls there, and I kept saying in previous videos it should have just been their demonic souls, and then we saw human forms of Undertaker and Kane. Then they could do the Brothers of Destruction humanized version of them, like we see the American Badass and an unmasked Kane taking on the the Wyatt family with two other guys. I would have went with Finn Balor and I would have said Sting had Sting not gotten hurt at Night of Champions. It would have been awesome, but instead they went with a standardized tag team match heading into Survivor Series, and Wyatt and Harper lost to Kane and the Undertaker in a tag team match, in what was I consider Bray Wyatt, Undertaker, and Kane's worst match ever. Like, this is the 25th anniversary of the Undertaker, and the match is that bad. Like, it wasn't Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze. Like, everyone kept saying that was the worst match of the night. But I personally, feeling like that this match was so built up and so important for The Undertaker, and it ended like that. Yeah, it's the worst match of the night. No denying that. So, yeah, they should have went with Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker. And especially Sean's View Entertainment reported that WWE was considering when Bray Wyatt had, quote, harvested the souls of Undertaker and Kane. They were going to go with Bray Wyatt copying the Undertaker and Kane's movesets. And that would have been, okay, that actually would help the vibe that Undertaker and Kane's souls belong to Bray Wyatt, at least their demonic souls. And Bray Wyatt's copying their movesets, and it would have been awesome to see Bray Wyatt do the Tombstone Pile Driver. But WWE thought that would be too innovative and decided to scrap that idea before it could ever materialize. So then the Wyatt family now go to war against ECW. Yeah, like this should be exciting, but considering Bray Wyatt has not won a feud since January, I'm not counting Ryback since, well, Ryback won the IC title. But yeah, Bray Wyatt's booking was pretty much misguided at this point. So Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family go to war with Team ECW, consisting of the Dudley Boys, Tommy Dreamer, and Rhino. And I kept saying like, like, okay, one, that would be kind of awesome if it was Luke Harper and Eric Rowan versus Devon and Bubba Ray. Especially if they added Spike Dudley, then they could do Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper taking on the Dudley Boys or the Dudley Brothers. That would have been awesome. But they kind of chicken, and especially Bubba Ray giving hints that Spike Dudley would be coming back, since they kept saying, "Oh, he's just a call away," and like they were hinting that, and then they chickened out for some reason. So they wanted Tommy Dreamer and Rhino to add up 4-on-4 in a tables match. And the match wasn't bad. It wasn't really the better tables match. In fact, it's at least a lot better than Seth Rollins versus John Cena, considering how overbooked that match was. However, there was a huge botch at the end. Originally, it was supposed to end with a flaming table, and Braun Strowman was supposed to put Bubba Ray through it, and well, Bubba Ray didn't light the table on fire, so they screwed that up. So that ended their symbolic finish. So then they have an Extreme Rules match. It was awesome to me. Went a lot longer than I thought it would, and that's pretty much where the feud ended for now, kind of. Like, they did another match with Kane now, and yet they don't really focus on Kane and Bray Wyatt's personal vendetta after what happened in November. Like, they just forget about it. Oh, F you, WWE, F you. So, yeah, that pretty much sets up Bray Wyatt's entire 2015. It was fit, and like, he won only 2 feuds, and it was at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. So, really, Bray Wyatt was given a huge promising feuds, promising matches, but all of them did not end with Bray Wyatt coming out strong. Like, the only feud I thought Bray Wyatt should have lost would be against Roman Reigns, because the feud was more balanced out. And I would say Ryback was also a disaster, because Ryback would ultimately win in the end, since Ryback won the IC title and Bray Wyatt wasn't even in the match where logic dictated it should have. So yeah, Bray Wyatt kind of lost every single feud besides ECW and Dean Ambrose. Kind of ironic. So now heading into 2016 this year, there's a report going on. Well, there's a rumor, so at least it's a rumor for now, that Bray Wyatt might be going up against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, which I cannot wait. It's because Bray Wyatt's now getting this better booking again. They're doing the same thing like they did with The Undertaker, because they're going to fight this big established guy. They're going to make them look strong up until WrestleMania, at least. But I can't wait for the promos between him and Paul Heyman. It's going to be awesome. I don't know how the match is going to go. Like, originally it was reported that the original plan for WrestleMania wasn't going to be Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar. It was going to be Bray Wyatt versus Sting before he got injured. Since that happened, Sting's off the table. So they have to go with Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar. But there's also a conflicting report with Bray Wyatt where it said that Kevin Owens might go against Brock Lesnar. Though, considering WWE management's hatred for Kevin Owens because of his weight, I'm not letting that go. Like, they'll push Bray Wyatt, but they won't push Kevin Owens, and Bray Wyatt's also kind of big. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen for Bray Wyatt this year. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for more. And a Happy New Year to every single one of you.